Hey guys, welcome to another TFT Set 13 PvE gameplay. This one is going to be focused on Academy with some pretty fun augments. Now I was initially planning to drop the video that I did with Rebels that I mentioned last video, but before I managed to do the voiceover for that one, I ended up playing this game and recording the footage, and it turned out to be really fun. So I think I'll just drop this first. And also, the thumbnail I managed to make for this, I thought was quite funny. I had a lot of fun making it, and I couldn't quite think of a thumbnail for the Rebel ones, yet. So I was like, why not? Like, just do this first. Also, hopefully, compared to last video, the editing is a little bit nicer because I'm cutting out, or not cutting out, I'm speeding up a lot of the footage in between combat. So it's not as long. Like, the last video was 40 minutes long. I think it's a bit too much. 27's not too bad. So here, the first one I select, no scout, no pivot, essentially meaning any unit that I play will stay on the board until the game finishes. But in return for that, they get health, AP, and AD for every round of combat. So essentially, turning these mans into academic weapons, you know what I'm saying? But I think here if I was really on board, I think I would have just sold these units, by the way, last round, because I could have made 10 in the PvE round, but it's okay. Little mistakes happen, I guess. Also, I'm deciding to make Leona my tank, my soul tank, because the rest of the academy units aren't really tanks, right? So I think I will probably have to stick another sentinel in with her, but that'll be like quite late into the game, as I don't really want to play lower cost units for a tank with her. I'm thinking Alawi in my head, that'll be the sentinel I'll play. So really I can't really play her right now, because if I play her right now, obviously she's going to be on for the rest of the game duration, because of no scout, no pivot. So I think I ended up actually selling everything on my bench, including the Lux, because spoiler alert, I don't win the next fight, and I'd want to hit the 20 gold threshold for the econ. So while this isn't ideal, it's okay because I'm not planning to win streak through this stage. So the first round that we won, great, fantastic, it saves me some health, but it was a bit unexpected because I don't think my board's that strong. It's just, I guess I have the items on. I have 2 completed items equivalent, and one of them is giving me trait bonus of like 2% damage amp, which is, I mean, it's not huge, but it is still 2 completed items. And I think Gargoyles is quite strong early anyway, like, because everyone will be focusing her. Gets a lot of like use out of the passive of having more resistances the more units are targeting her. So it wasn't too bad. But now that I've lost and don't really have a unit to put on the board, because none of the units in my shop are something I'm willing to fit into the team comp, I'm expecting to lose this next fight and majority of the fights afterwards as well, unless I just absolutely high roll out of my mind, get 2-star Lux and Leona within the next like 2 shops, which I hope I don't, because that will ruin the loss streak, but yeah, it's okay. Now the combats are actually going pretty well, since I'm only taking like 1 unit losses. I think last round was 1 unit loss, this is a 1 unit loss, so I'm sitting pretty cushy at 94 health after losing 2, which is pretty good as far as loss streaks go, right? So into the carousel, what I'm looking for is a BF sword, I think. Yeah, and it's on an army, which is the 3 cost, it's a lot of gold. Initially I was thinking of sticking maybe Nami in, as she has an emissary bonus that gives you mana per auto.
Bring on the bad guys.
But I ended up hitting a Tristana, which fits a lot better with artillery. So I think it's a lot more useful. Artillerist, sorry. And I don't really want to reroll Lux. So Nami is just sitting on the bench, and Trist is a permanent member of our team. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now with this, I think Corki and Urgot are pretty good. Urgot will be a good holder of Bloodthirster until late game. When I will swap it to Jace, because I'll probably play him in his bruiser form or like his frontline form, as I don't really have many other tanks, like I said, so I need like some form of frontline. And if I stick a Bloodthirster on him, it can't be bad. And I have plenty of carries if I play Tristan and Corki as well. And obviously Heimerdinger, Lux, Ezreal. Like I have plenty of blackline carries that I don't really need to worry about Jace also being a backline. So it's looking pretty good. The team comp is kind of forming in the brain, in the old noodle, but we'll see how it goes. As far as the fights go, once again, a 2-unit loss last round. Wasn't too bad. Sky's got Automata, and his Cog is doing a decent amount of damage, but I'm wondering if Blitz is any good, because I haven't seen a lot of people play Blitz, but Automata looks interesting, and I kind of want to try and make Knockdown work, so I might have to look into that as well. Hopefully it's not bad, because Knock is also one of my favorite champions. Alright, so now I slowly start using my team builder and sticking the academy units in. But because I think back when I was playing this game, I wasn't fully committed into the idea of 4 Artillerists, because I thought I would need more frontline. But I ended up getting an Urgot here, and it just didn't force my hand necessarily, but it just definitely led me to playing the Artillerist. I was like, okay, I mean, if it's something you're given, I guess, well, why not? And it's not like Urgot can't, like I said, can't use the Bloodthirster, right? So I thought at this stage it was fine to commit to it. Also, I think here I probably should have leveled and put the Urgot in. Might have saved me one more unit, or even one. Like, if I win, it's not the biggest deal. But technically, I think this is like fine. But I feel like I could have definitely committed like Bloodthirster and saved a little bit of health here. Now here I get offered sponging, which is a new augment once again, and it's up to 5 champions with one of few items gain a copy of random complete item from the nearest itemized ally, which with Academy I was thinking would work really well, as you can get the sponsored items and just spread them to multiple units, which seems a really good combo, and I think this will be a really good combo if you play with Academy. Now, without Academy, it might not be ideal, because you might have to compromise your positioning for combat just to get ideal items. And I did struggle a little bit to get the positioning right, so might not be worth taking it, especially if it's a prismatic, right? Like, it's not guaranteed to be effective if you don't play it perfectly well, I guess. So we'll have to see. Like, I'll have to play a little bit more without Academy anyway, and see if it works. So I think last combat is actually a perfect example of where it wasn't the best, because I ended up getting Gargoyle Stoneplate on the Urgot, which isn't ideal. I would rather have the Guardbreaker or even the Rage Blade. But I feel like with more practice that will be a lot easier to get correct, and if I'm fully paying attention as well, which I should be, but sometimes, you know, you zone out a little bit. As far as the combat power goes, it's a huge boost. Like, my board wasn't that strong, I don't think, and then I got this prismatic augment, and now essentially I have 5 more items, like completed items, just on my board. So I think my combat power is super strong right now, and you will see I end up going on a win streak. Now here I'm looking for maybe a Crit Glove, but ideally I think I wanted the Heimer with the tier to put a redemption on my Leona. Like, yes, she might not get the Bloodthirster, but it's just she is going to be my solo tank, so I do want like 3 tank items ideally on her. And yeah, but I got super lucky here, find a Corki at level 6, which is just, yeah, very good high roll. It would have been great if I also had the Heimer. And the one issue with no scout, no pivot, you can see here, is I I can't take the second Trist out, so I'm having to level up and put the Corki in for 4 Artillerist. And essentially until I find a Tristana in my shop and a 2-star her, I will not have an option to take the second unit out, which, say if I find a Heimerdinger right now, it's going to be a bit of a nuisance, because I would rather just obviously play the full academy for Artillerist, but we'll see. I think I'm going to be rolling down here anyway, or I should be maybe rolling down, not rolling down, but staying at level 7, and then rolling down once I have more than 50 gold to get my Ezreal at least 2-star before I push on to level 8. As far as the positioning goes right now, once again I think I made a slight mistake of putting the Rage Blade onto the Corki. I do think the Guard Breaker might be a little bit better, but his ability is pretty much, he launches a bunch of missiles and he starts strafing, I think, if he's in an unsafe position, but you'll see him like just move and just launch, and every 7th missile he fires is a big one. Essentially just does a little bit more damage. I still haven't moved my Urgot as well, which I think is quite bad, but Gargoyles is, I guess it's working. So yeah, if it's working, why, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of vibe, I guess. But I think eventually I should be positioning a little bit better. Now I'm looking for just more components to build into the sponsored items, so cloak, BF sword, bow tier, belt, and then I think it was crit glove. Any of those would be ideal. Hopefully all of them together. Could we get a crit glove there? And a BF sword. Unfortunately, like, it's not perfect, but it is an Infinity Edge, and I get a 2-star Corki, so you know what, I'm not going to complain about that. I did hit really luckily I hit the units and pretty good items for him. But the only issue with this is it's Corki's not going to be getting another item, so I feel like here I could have just not moved the Guard Breaker, but moved my Ezreal to be the closest unit to Corki, so he has both a Guard Breaker and Infinity Edge, and Ezreal would have Guard Breaker and Infinity Edge. So once again, I think this was another mistake. Yeah, so I clearly just wasn't thinking properly, I think, here. Wasn't optimizing it, but it's still an insane amount of power I'm getting on the board, so it's not the worst. Also, I had a Gargoyle Stoneplate on the Lux. This is what I mean with the positioning. I think it can be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure if I was a bit more used to playing with the augment, I'd think about it a bit more. As far as this augment selection, I just ended up taking something pretty safe, a little bit more combat power and some healing, which is quite nice for this comp. I think, yeah, it was a pretty safe pick. Just something that I knew would be good no matter what. I'm on a 5-win streak now, so I think I do want to obviously keep this up. As far as my reroll goes, I do have a 2-star Ez on the bench and a 2-star Leona. I think it's a bit unfortunate that I didn't hit more Leonas, but I didn't really roll that heavy, so I shouldn't be expecting that. And especially because I hit the 2-star Corki, I just kind of want to push, I think, one more level to put Alawi in maybe as a second tank, because I don't know if that 2-star Leona will be enough. Especially, yeah, because I didn't 3-star her, right? So I'm hitting pretty nicely, and I was just looking for a 2-star Triss so I could put the Heimer in as soon as possible, and I did. So I essentially stopped rolling. I got 2 more Ezreals, so I'm only 1 Ezreal away now, and 2 Leonas away, but that's going to be a bit more tricky to find. It's still a 30% chance, but I do want to push the level, as I said. I want to push level 8 as soon as I can, and try and hit another tank. Now, a minor issue that I'm finding is I don't really have enough items to go around, but that's where sponging kind of comes in and helps me out, as it just gives me 5 items for free essentially. But I'm not sure if I have enough items for the Ezreal to actually be useful once I 3-star him, as I think Corki would just be a little bit better, because he seems to be doing a lot of damage. But I hit 3 stars here, and I didn't think of this when I was playing, obviously, but I do think just removing the items from Corki, putting 1 item on Ez and 1 item on Corki would be the best here, so they would both get Infinity Edge and Guard Breaker, which would have made this board infinitely stronger. Okay, infinitely is a bit of a hyperbole, but you know what I mean, it just would have made a much stronger board, and it would have definitely confirmed that I keep my win streak. But it doesn't really matter because other boards are quite weak here. It's just for future, I think this is something I should look towards. But it still seems to be working out fine, and we are coming up to the anomaly stage, which is pretty big. I think I end up deciding to make Corki my evolution, which is fine, but I think Ezreal could have also worked. I just haven't seen that many people play Ezreal, to be fair, so I don't know how strong he is exactly, but he seems to be doing okay in this composition. Now the anomaly I end up taking works slightly different to what I expected it to work, how I expected it to work. It still gives me 35% attack speed, which is great, it's useful, but it doesn't knock back after the first missile that Corki casts. So in my mind, he was just going to continuously knock people back as he was strafing with all of his missiles, but in hindsight it is a bit broken. I just thought maybe it could be a cool interaction, and I think the attack damage one that I skipped on, or even the mana one, probably would have been better, but you can see he doesn't really knock anyone back because he's not close enough. But even once he starts getting close enough, and once they're knocked back, he doesn't carry on moving towards them and knocking them further and further, right? Because I was hoping it would be like endless CC, but it just didn't work out like that, which is fine. It's still good. It still gives me 35% attack speed, and I still have the initial knockback and safety that it provides, which can be useful. Also, looking back at it, I don't know why I thought he'd strafe towards the unit that he's attacking, since he would be wanting to get to a safe location, so he'd be moving away. So actually, maybe we're actually thinking about it, it's not the best idea to take this, even though the 35% attack speed's nice. It's just, I'm sure there are better anomalies for him, like tailored for him, right? Now from the anvil, I'll just take a tier to make a shiv for the Lux, and now I should be having 2 shivs on both the Heimer and the Lux, and they should both be giving me the Academy bonus, which is a lot of damage amp and a lot of max health that they're getting. And I also got quite lucky and got an Alawi from the PvE round, which I will be putting in as soon as this combat's over. So it will be a perfect interval to level 8. I'll stick it in, but you will see with my positioning, I do mess it up slightly again, where I don't put the Alawi only next to Leona, and Urgot's positioned right next to her as well. For the next combat, it doesn't really matter because I only end up getting a Gargoyles, but I could also get a Bloodthirster, and I think Gargoyles just slightly better for now. Even with the Academy sponsor bonus, right? But yeah, so the position can be a little bit tricky, I think. And also I'm a little bit worried my tanks just aren't good enough, because the 2-star Leona at this stage might be a bit of a struggle. And while, yes, I do have the Sentinel on Alawi, as you can see, I'm getting burnt through pretty quickly, and he doesn't have an exceptional, or they don't have an exceptional backline right now. And it's just going to get a lot worse once he upgrades his Corki and Jinx, so just need to find a better front line. Since I have a lot of health to play with, compared to the rest of the lobby, whereas there's only one other person who's above 60 with me, I feel like I can greed to level 9 before I find the 2-star Alawi, and I can put in the Jace, which will give me 4% max health and damage amp per item instead of 3% max health. And damage amp, which can be quite significant, I think, especially considering how close the last fight was. I feel like that could push me over the edge to have a pretty winning board, I'd say. Now, the guy we're fighting right now seems to be very strong. He has a 3-star GP, which has been one of the better units, I think, people have found on PvE. The only issue is he's only level 7, So we happened to win this, and it wasn't a convincing victory, but considering I'm greeting with this much gold sitting in the bank, I feel pretty confident that this is a winning game, right? Like, I should be top 2 at least. People are dropping as well, so there's only 5 people left. Within the last 2 rounds, I think the other 3 dropped. So I'm feeling, yeah, like I said, I'm feeling pretty confident. Now, I get a Morello because I needed some anti-heal. And yeah, this is where I put my Quicksilver on the Trist as well. It's not ideal, the items, but I didn't really see anything better on the carousel, with the exception that maybe I could have gone for the static shiv to get another static shiv, but I don't think that's necessary, and if I don't have any anti-heal, I think it's going to be a bit of an issue. Yeah, and also I did see a even shroud, but I get armor pen from Corki anyway, so I think that was a little bit, yeah, there was no need to take that either. I think Morello's was the best option there. I would have preferred a Sunfire, obviously, I think, for my tank, or a red buff, but it's okay. As long as I get some form of anti-heal in, I think we'll be sitting in a pretty good spot. And I still don't think we need to force level here. Still sitting on 66 health. We happen to win the last 2 rounds. So yeah, there's no need to force it yet, because I do want to have enough money to roll down once I hit level 9. So I'm going super greedy, which is completely fine. I think even if I leveled, I wouldn't have beaten this guy because he's got the Vander augment, and that is super strong as well right now. Yeah, so I think even if I had a 1-star Jason that I happened to find just rolling, it just wasn't worth it. Now here, item wise, I'm looking for possibly another Bloodthirster, maybe a Corki item, which could be a Shojin. A Shojin would be quite nice, because I do want to get some mana regen in, but yeah, we'll see what we get. Get some money. We're prepping that level 9. We did it, and we didn't get the Jace from the roll, but it's fine. And we're just going to roll down. We find a Heimer. We still don't have a 2-star Heimer, I didn't even realize. But yeah, so I think I should have rolled down a little bit more. And here, I ended up putting the Alawi in because I didn't find the Jace, but then I found the Jace on the last roll. I just wasn't quick enough to put it in, especially with 150 ping. Which is fine. It's okay. But that just means I have to roll down and find another Alawi so I can 2-star it and put in the Jace, because I can't bench the Alawi, so it just forced my hand to roll. But I was going to do that anyway, so it's not really an issue. Sky is the 3-star GP. He did beat me this time, but I should be getting a major upgrade to my board, so I'm not too worried. Now I have 3 Bloodthirsters, and this is where I position all together. So each of them get 2 Bloodthirsters, which is it's a lot of damage amp. It's 16% damage amp and max health for Jace, and 8% for Urgot and Alawi, which is a significant amount. It's not ideal items, but I think it might be the best I can do at the moment. Now Corki's kind of carrying this pretty well, and Ezreal only did 3.5k, but he only has the Morello. So I think maybe my positioning needs to be a little bit better. And as soon as I hit 2-star Heimer, I think I should move Morello and then the 2 shivs onto the Heimer. But yeah, I don't know why I'm not rolling here. Maybe I'm greeting. I don't know what was going through my head. I was just trying to figure something out, I guess. Okay, boom. There we go. And now, okay, yeah, do that pretty instantly. Because I think Morello is just better on Jaime. It just spreads a little bit better. And yeah, I mess it up here because I don't put the Morello in because I was still trying to play towards it. But I think I do realize it's just put 3 items in the Heimer, put 3 items on the Heimer, and he can spread like one of them to either the Lux or Ezreal, whoever decided to position next to him, because I don't think 2 shivs are going to be enough even with the Academy bonus. But I think realistically I'm hoping I'll find a good item for the Heimer on the carousel, which happens to work out pretty well. I see an adaptive helm. I think that'll be quite nice to stick on him. Yeah, hopefully no one takes it, but we'll see. And we do manage to get it, so I think the plan should be Morello, Shiv, adaptive helm, and then position the Ezreal next to the position the Ezreal next to the Corki so he actually gets like useful items. Yeah, but I should remove the Lux's Morello and stick it on the Heimer, which I ended up doing. Good job, past me. Good job. This also was like a few days ago I played this game, so I might not be remembering it perfectly, but it's fine. 2-star Jace as well. 2-star Jace with 2 Bloodthirsters. I think this ball turned out to be pretty fun. I never hit the 3-star Leona as well, which, I mean, don't think it mattered, but maybe it would have been a bit more useful. Actually, do I win this? Maybe it's one more. No, I do win this. Yeah, surprisingly though, Ezreal did so much damage. Corki didn't do that much damage in the last round, which is fine, but maybe I should have itemized the Ezreal a bit more. But I also don't have mana item on the Corki, which I think would make a huge difference. Yeah, I'm just trying to roll down. I know it's the last fight. It didn't really hit, but I did hit 3-star Leona, so this should just confirm the win here, I think. This guy's got an interesting comp. I think he's just, but it's a bit all over the place. I don't really know what he's quite playing, but it's just not enough. The boys are academic weapons, man. What can I say? But alright, if you got this far, thank you for watching. If you have any improvements, let me know in the comments. Like, sub, and I'll catch you in the next video.